So this is going to be the brand new La Ventura Hotel and Casino, huh?
Scheduled to open its doors spring of 2009.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
They sure don't seem to be able to make this one at all. First it was the city council, then the environmentalists. Now it's the Bureau of Sanitation shutting them down over faulty sewage lines. Nothing's getting done around here until somebody cleans some pipes.
Jeez, what hasn't happened to delay this thing?
A dead body.
Like the place is cursed.
Construction worker over there called it in. I haven't taken his statement yet.
Good to see you. Thought I might be flying solo on this one. Okay, time to go to work. Ouch. We'll take a closer look at him when we get to the morgue. But where did he come from? Partial shoe impression. Looks as though someone approached the body then tried to cover their tracks. Most of those windows are boarded shut, except for the one right above our Vic. Hard hat could belong to our Vic, but how to get all the way over here? We're from the crime lab. May we have your name?
Marcus Conchai. I'm the plumbing foreman. Well, I guess I should say I used to be the plumbing foreman on this job. Yeah, that's right. I arrived this morning to pick up my last check. And I looked over there and I couldn't believe it. I immediately called 911. Bureau of Sanitation shut us down because of some faulty sewage pipes, and the construction company's basically holding me responsible. So, yesterday they finally decided to let me go. And like I said, I just came by this morning to pick up the rest of my equipment and my severance check. No. I mean, I didn't get close enough to the body to look at his face. I couldn't bring myself to walk all the way over there. It was just too horrible. Why do you want to do that?
To exclude you as a suspect, Mr. Kunchai.
Okay, sure.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Kunchai. We'll be in touch.
I kind of hope not, but, you know, good luck with everything.
I'll have Robin send someone down to pick up the body. Silver Sierra is a pretty big building contractor in Las Vegas. Looks like the Zachary Lynch is the company's boss. Office is locked. That's a 220-volt cable, but I don't see any outlets for one of those up here. Contractors' fingerprints are usually on work cards in the system. A little strange, don't you think? If this turns out to be our victim's blood, why was he bleeding before he took a header off the balcony? If these fingerprints on the balcony railing come back to our victim, it's suggestive of suicide. We can head over to the coroner's office or the lab as soon as you think we're done here. Brass will hold the scene for us just in case we need to come back for something.
You've added a fingerprint to the analysis window. You now have two options. You can attempt to match the sample to another sample you've already collected, or you can attempt to search for a match. Use the Evidence button to select something you've already collected, or the Search button to search the database.
But I didn't do anything.
Your fingerprints will help prove that.
All right.
These records aren't exactly up to the minute, but they confirm Marcus Kunchai was employed at La Ventura. Hey, Doc. Do you have our John Doe's cause of death?
Massive internal blunt force trauma. His rib cage is shattered, both lungs are punctured, and his spleen and right kidney are ruptured.
He basically bled out internally.
That's right.
Time of death?
Based on lividity and rigor, I'd estimate 10 to 12 hours ago.
Which would put his TOD between 9 and 11 p.m. last night.
Two very distinct ligature marks. The larger ligature mark directly under the chin here goes all the way around the neck and angles upwards at about 65 degrees. The second, smaller mark is also all the way around, but practically straight back and parallel.
You can clearly make out those two different ligature patterns.
They'll be easy to compare to the separate ligatures, if you're able to find them.
Let me get a shot of those. Make sure you photograph each ligature mark.
Well, one ligature mark might certainly suggest a suicide attempt. Two unique ligature marks complicate matters, without actually eliminating the possibility that the victim was trying very hard to end his life. Now, his internal injuries, which ultimately led to his death, are consistent with a fall from a considerable height. But again, there's no way to determine from my examination whether your victim jumped willingly or had some help.
So our John Doe's death under suspicious circumstances means
Means that until presented with evidence to the contrary, I'm forced to label his death a homicide. Absolutely. Here they are. Got it right here for you. Already bagged and tagged for you.
what is that?
Don't suicide notes always sound forged? Or do I just read too many spy novels?
This one is conveniently typed and neatly folded for us to find. Is there anything else on it? A partial fingerprint. Hopefully it's enough to start getting us some answers. Mark Ensign. Well, we've confirmed the identity of our victim. The victim's prints match the prints on the power cable. These prints put our victim at the railing.
In order to prepare a fingerprint for a database search, you first have to find between 3 and 5 identifying points, known as minutia. Use your cursor to select places where a ridge, one of the colored lines, splits or ends. You can get a higher skill rating if you only try to select areas that contain valid minutia. That's great. You have enough minutia to continue the search. The results of your search are in the column on the right. Select one to continue.
Whoa. The fingerprint on the suicide note belongs to Zachary Lynch. What a boss, huh? He even helps his employees with their suicide notes.
Agent Huntby here has some information he'd like to share with us. It's regarding Mark Ensign's apparent suicide.
I don't know where you're at with this investigation right now, but there's no way Mark Ensign killed himself.
I think you may be getting a little bit ahead of the evidence, Agent Huntby.
Look, I was this close to turning him into a criminal informant. Ensign was about to go out on a limb, so he was pretty scared.
Scared enough to take his own life?
Absolutely not.
Or aren't you authorized to discuss that?
Look, off the record, Ensign was on the verge of turning state's evidence on allegations of kickbacks and bribes involved in the construction of the La Ventura Casino. He would have been my eyes and ears at the Silver Sierra Construction Company. He'd been working there as Zachary Lynch's right arm for 5 years.
Lynch is the president of the company.
And before that, he was Beatriz Salazar's lawyer, back in Miami, about 10 years ago. But we suspect she's maintained the relationship through Silver Sierra.
So Ensign might have been your way to get to Salazar.
Well, with your help, I'm hoping he might still be. Good luck.
Based on what evidence? Lynch touched the suicide note? What else has he been up to? Why don't you go check out his office and see what you can turn up?